something I learned from Chris is that he spends a lot of time in Stepmania. It's mostly playing index, occasionally using a second finger to do brackets. But he thinks it's really important because chart understanding is a really big deal. Because when you play a chart and there's any sort of hesitation in what you do, that causes sloppy form, it causes tiredness. So it's good to know charts ahead of time. But also playing on index is really nice because it kind of replicates pad movement, just having a single finger represent one leg. So it really helps you to understand things like crossover movement, or if you're going to double step something, how you're going to double step something. So I'm going to try doing this for the first time tonight, which is like, at least in a very serious manner, because like obviously I've been making these videos and looking at charts in Stepmania. But I'm going to try to do this for the first time tonight for a chart that I don't understand how to execute very well, that I'm not good at. And that chart is I by Chroma, which I love this song so much from Sound Voltex. It was charted by Ash. It was released in the ECFA 2021 14's DLC number 5 last week. And I've never played this song past the beginning because, like, literally the first 8 measures, because it's very intimidating and hard. I've just walked off and closed the song out every single time. So I'm going to play this chart all the way through first. And then I'm going to start piecing it together from the beginning. So let's take a look at this. So nothing too bad. The song is 225. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Crossovers at 225 is new territory for me. I think 190 to 200 is, I know is doable, but 225 is something else. I don't think I even played the last batch of DLC, which has triple counter, and that has crossovers at 216. Haven't even done that. And I didn't make a comment on it earlier, but there were a couple batches of turns that happened all at once that were just a little bit much. But actually, looking at the chart right now, it's toned down quite a bit. So maybe all those times I quit, I should have kept playing. I've fallen into the same issue playing Computer Blues before, where Computer Blues, I get so intimidated by the 30-second notes that I just walk off. But if you've actually looked at Computer Blues past the 30 seconds, it's not that bad. So definitely take some time to look at these charts. And if it's not that bad after, you can kind of try your best on the hard part and then hit everything else. Okay, there's been a lot of brackets. I imagine this is all 12 notes with crossovers. Okay, full lateral with 24ths and brackets. I can do most of these turns, but I'm worried about the full laterals. Okay, I'm glad these are... I'm glad those brackets at the end were rolls instead of like bracket drills, like what the Sound Voltex chart could be. Okay, I'm gonna play this from the beginning. My goal with this is to try to piece together my understanding of the chart in terms of how it's chunked together and how things are phrased, and also to get an understanding of what parts of the chart I think I'm able to do as intended, and which parts of the chart I might have to consider cheating on. So let's take a look from the beginning. And I'm gonna start and stop as the chart goes on. So nothing crazy here. Very straightforward. Okay, these crossovers I think I can do. So this is a left arrow crossover first. I'm gonna have to be wary of this double tap. Something that sometimes catches me off guard is that like all of this here, this chunk here has alternating motion, so it's always right after left after right after left. Whereas this double up breaks that motion by having you play something on the left foot twice. So it's just something to be wary of, to not let my mind shut down too much, and just to be wary of that kind of pattern. Don't let the momentum swing. So this is really violent. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna like move around in my office chair here and try to. Is there a good way to double step this? So what's gonna happen is if I double step this, realistically, I'm gonna end up doing these bursts, these groups of 2 on the same foot, these groups of 2 on the same foot, but 216 is just really fast. And I cannot cleanly double step. Even if it's not a candle, I don't think I can cleanly double step at 225 BPM. So I think honestly something like this has a better chance of being double stepped than anything else, but I think these are this is one of those situations where, you know, I actually like to double step things if I know it's easily possible. But this one is going to be not super easy. I think the only trick here is you have to understand where the turning points are. So this is a group of 5. This is a group of 5. I think I just need to make sure that when I hit this, so this is a crossover going from right. I'm going to try to do this backwards so it works on the camera. From right to left. Right to left. So I need to make sure that when I hit this with my toe facing left, that I'm already starting to move my body back to facing forward at least. Or even better is trying to get from this note to facing right as soon as I can. Because the longer I stay on this arrow and the longer I stay facing left, the harder it's going to be for me to swing my body around to make this next group of 5 happen. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to actually do this tech, which is unfortunate, but that is that is the conclusion I've come on. I'm probably gonna add an imaginary ghost step here, just so this resolves on the and of 2. But not for here. When it comes to things like this bracket drill, usually I don't have to worry, especially since we disable playoffs. I don't think I usually worry too much about making sure that I execute this last left arrow cleanly. I think it sometimes slips that this gets executed as a left down bracket, and that's normally okay. I think the reason that this is notated this way is so you don't end up hitting this down arrow on a left foot, because then otherwise you end up double stepping this 16th note. So just make sure that when you come out of this bracket drill, I don't know, I'm saying you. I don't know if you're gonna do this. This video is for me. When I execute this bracket drill, I'm gonna make sure that I hit this left arrow with the intention of starting to face right. And honestly, shout outs to Ash, because this is really clever step writing. It's a really good cue to make sure that there may be a direction change here. Otherwise, if this was notated as a left down bracket, I would probably end up hitting this down arrow with the left foot, which is wrong for what comes after. So I said this earlier, but another reason I'm gonna do the turns is because even though those turns I mentioned earlier are really hard, it's really just 8th notes that come after. So I'll get a chance to recoup the energy that I put out in order to do that. So the pacing's a little weird. It's like really aggressive and then chills out. I'll probably do those turns as well. I'm gonna get really scared if what I find out is that I'm just gonna execute everything. Oh, same situation here. Starting in this like. I'm gonna watch out for this double up. It seems really easy for me to just get into this flow of and not realize that there's a double tap happening here on the 8th note. So good catch for myself. Oh, this is really weird. I wish this was bracketable, but I'll be fine. I'll just do those jumps. It's nice because the jumps are not moving. So I can just kind of stay in place, and I can probably even keep my heels planted, and then just pivot out, and then keep my heels planted and just slap my toes down if I'm really trying to conserve for some reason. But if I'm going for masterfuls, I probably shouldn't try to conserve. Hertas. And then, okay, yeah, so this chart's actually... It seems like the hard part was really those, like, the barrage of crossovers in the beginning here. These. And then it really, really chilled out. So you get a really, really nice breather here. Definitely remember to breathe. I forget to do that sometimes, and there have been stamina charts I've played where, it started getting really hard, and that's because I realized I wasn't breathing, and then when I started breathing, everything was easier. Is there anything noteworthy here? Yeah, this bracket here. When this bracket is hit, plus this note, you're facing right, or I guess like kind of like diagonally right. So it looks like it's okay to face right this entire time. So no need to turn my body to hit this. My body's already in the right place. But not for this. Something I already know is gonna happen is that, so check out this bracket, right? This bracket is going to be hit with my heel on the left foot and then my toe on the up arrow. I already know this is going to happen, is that I'm going to hit this, I'm going to hit this left arrow with my toe still on the up arrow. And there's a good chance that if I try to hit, here, let me find a good quantization. If I try to hit this bracket correctly with my right foot angling over, there's a good chance that if my left toe is still on this up arrow, that I'm gonna drop this up arrow. So what I might actually end up doing is hitting this up arrow with my left toe, because it's already in place, and then hitting this with my right foot entirely. And then that way I don't actually have to turn my body at all, and then I can still stay facing right for this bracket. So that's what I'm gonna end up doing. And then that way I'm like facing right all the way until here, which is nice. .24th's here. I'm definitely gonna double step this last one. There's no reason to do that turn. Okay, something I'm scared about these 24ths is that this is leading into kind of like the hardest part of the song, but there are no crossovers really in this build-up. So I'm gonna try my best to play in the most relaxed manner I possibly can while still getting, 15 millisecond fantastics. Minimal form. Okay, something that I'm taking note of here is that the bracket pattern here is that 2 of them happen in one direction, 2 of them happen in another direction before coming back down. So I see these brackets in pairs of 2. That's probably good to know, so I don't... Something scary about brackets that if there's a bracket section coming up, it's really easy to start getting afraid about where the next bracket's going to come from and like jump scare you. But now I've already done the research ahead of time to know that they're grouped in twos. So if I see one bracket, I know I can just stay facing the same direction because I know the exact same bracket's going to come up later. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Or another way you can think of it as like in ABs. A, B, B, A. Okay, here's a crazy part. Oh yeah, I also need to make sure to not shut my brain off here. This is normally, whenever I get to a break like this, I start like collecting my thoughts and like doing deep breaths and really thinking about, you know, what I'm about to play. Just like meditating. I would probably forget that this jump comes up. So this, especially because in the sound voltex chart, which I'm very familiar with, it doesn't start until this. The gameplay doesn't start up again until this measure 85. Like the sound voltex chart is really cool. You guys should look at the sound voltex chart, because the way they do it in game is the whole screen blacks out. I kind of wish this chart did it. But then it comes through again. It doesn't start until here. So, note to self: don't miss this note because it comes earlier than I expect. Starts off with a bracket right away. Okay, these crossovers are not too bad. But I always get concerned about these crossovers, these full laterals, which I think I'm gonna try to double step. I think this is double steppable. Let me see here. Okay, this sounds really weird, but hear me out. So the way that these crossovers are phrased is that I would say it's 2 normal crossovers, 1 lateral crossover, and then another normal crossover. So let's see here. Normal crossover, 1. Crossover 2. Lateral, right? 1, 2, lateral. Crossover. First, bracket. 1. 2. Lateral. Regular crossover. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I think I can do. I'm going to do that crossover. I'm going to do this crossover. I'm going to double step this. So this is... I'm going to... let me see how this footing works out. I'm going to hit this with my right foot. This will be a double left. This will be a right foot, double left. And then when this gets hit with my right foot, I'm actually going to do this crossover. So I'm going to... I think I can get away with successfully purposely double stepping the laterals, but then going back into doing regular crossovers. And that seems like the best way for my strengths and weaknesses. Because I'm okay at crossovers, but not at full laterals. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So remember, the pattern, the way it's phrased is 2 normal crossovers, 1 lateral, and then another normal crossover after the lateral. After that, there's a quick 3-note 24th burst, and then a couple brackets. And that happens twice in a row. Turn. Turn. Double, turn. Burst, bracket. Turn. Turn. Double, turn. Yep. It looks like after each of these holds, there's a direction change. Actually, is there something I need to know about this? I think something I need to take note of here is that these start off in groups of 4. Those brackets at the end. 4, 4, 4, 4, 5. So just know that it doesn't do that the whole time. Duh. Eventually they add in the additional triplet partial. Duh, da, 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 da. So good building for sure, but something that could easily catch me off guard. Yeah, it seems like after every single one of these holds, there's a direction change. So this is facing right, but then you turn around and this is facing left. After that, this one faces right. Whoops. This one faces right. And then it's actually really generous now that I think about it to have this double staircase pattern, because a double staircase neutralizes your movement and has you facing forward again. So that is very convenient. And then the song's over. Okay, so I am significantly less intimidated by this chart now that I've looked at it. So shoutouts to Chris for the advice. I'm still like super scared of... I'm so scared of this. But I still think it's one of those things where, like, man, the chart difficulty really pales in comparison after that section. Because it's really just like 8 note brackets. The 16th runs are short. It's literally just 4 notes at a time. And then that 16th box is unmoving. And then you have 8th notes for like 4 measures or 8 measures or something like that. That's how I feel. Don't be afraid of this. It's gonna be okay, I think, to exert more energy during these kind of back-to-back turns because of how easy the parts after are. And then everything else for where I am at my skill level is not as trivial. It's really just the biggest thing so far has been knowing the pacing of the chart, so I know where to exert my energy. And it's also understanding this turn, double step, turn, burst bracket pattern that happens twice at the end. And then I think I'm set to do well on this. Yeah, I feel good about this. So what are today's lessons? This is a 22-minute video. Thank you for watching if you've made it the full 22 minutes. The lessons of my day are, even if this doesn't work out the way I expect it to, no matter what, studying this chart ahead of time is going to help me. I don't think there's any way that studying a chart ahead of time like this could ever hurt me. Another thing is that a lot of the things I talked about in terms of how I'm going to approach playing this chart is not something that will necessarily work for you. But I think that's okay, and I think hearing diverse views and strategies about how other people play the game can only improve how you play the game, because, you know, even if... I mean, Rob Oken is probably going to double-step all this, right? I think he has a video already of him double-stepping everything. It's not going to work for me, but it's important for me to see that from him and to understand why it's not going to work for me. My double-stepping ability is just not there. But it's still cool to see him do it that way. And ultimately, I think there's number 3 is that there's 0 replacement for practicing. Omid preaches this a lot. I preach this a lot. I can theory craft all I want. I can dissect charts all I want. I can play, you know, in Stepmania. I could quad this on keyboard or something, but this chart's not going to play itself. I just have to play it. And chances are is when I play this on pad for the first time all the way through, I'm probably gonna fall flat on my face. So that's all I have. I think if this wasn't beneficial for you watching this, it was definitely beneficial for me to go through this chart. If this chart terrifies you, leave a comment. If this video helped you at all, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.